Yan, live na tayo. Kamusta po kayo dyan? Ilayo ko nga para di naman kayo manglait ng lips ko and everything. Yan, pag-usapan natin ang Marcos Presidential Run! Wow, man, it happened. Sabi ko sa inyo, tatakbo talaga yan si Bongbong Marcos eh. The momentum has been on their side. And let me just be very, very clear about this. Sa aking sa aking paningin, no? Yeah, from my perspective, Marcos running for the presidency is a reflection of the weakness of both. No? On one hand, yung disunited opposition, dahil it's very likely na hindi lang Pacquiao at Isko, baka Lenny will also run, no, for the presidency kasi andyan na nga si Marcos. So I think Lenny's political raison d'etre, no, is to oppose the Marcoses and prevent them from recapturing the Malacanang. So Lenny might also run. So it's going to be a very crowded field. But I think it's also a reflection of the weakness, even more importantly, of the Duterte side. No? So kitang-kita natin sa mga surveys na baksak yung numbers ni Duterte, no, right and left. Of course, he's still popular, if, based daw sabi ng surveys. But tignan mo talaga, no, yung latest pulsation survey na lumabas rin ngayon this morning, kita yung satisfaction with the government performance, napakababa, bumaba talaga ng malaki, no? At pababa, no? Medyo spaghetti pababa ang nangyari dito. So the Dutertes are losing a lot of momentum, no? Dami kasing drama, tatakbo ako, hindi ako tatakbo, sino bang, si Bongo ba, si Sara ba, si Tatay ba, So all the gulo over who's gonna run, who's gonna be VP, who's gonna slide down, who's not gonna slide down. I think all of that really squandered yung initial advantages of the Dutertes. Not to mention, ang basa siguro ng mga Marcoses dito is, yes, maraming galit sa kanila, maraming mga never again, pero marami din, baka mas marami pang galit sa mga Dutertes, no? Especially for the mismanaged or perceived or real mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic. So siguro ang basa nila dito is, kung may magalit man lang, hindi siguro not that much dun sa nangyari 30-40 years ago. Baka mas magagalit ang tao sa nangyari over the past 6 months or 1 year or so. So, if this is gonna be a kind of a baggage issue, I think their calculation is that the Dutertes have even more baggage than the Marcoses. And the Marcoses, while they have been allies to Duterte, they have not been directly involved in the administration of the pandemic, among other things, over the past year or so. So, Bongbong Marcos can come in and ano sila praktisado na sila. They are well rehearsed. They spent 3 decades, since their return in 1991 onwards. They have spent decades, honing their revisionist rhetoric, their communication strategy. So they're ready for any attacks. At the same time, they know that actually mas vulnerable ang mga Dutertes or mga pro-Duterte candidates in the coming elections dahil sa nangyari over the, not 30-40 years ago, but over the past 3 days, 4 days, 6 months, 1 year, 2 year. So if it's a question of baggage, siguro ang calculation nila, mas malaki pa yung baggage ng mga Dutertes. Can you guys hear me? Klaro ba ako? Yan ang yung problema. Lagay tayo ng ano. So I think yun ang basa ng mga Marcoses, no, na the baggage of the Dutertes will also be big, if not bigger than theirs, no. So if Saras will still decide to run, no, if Sara will still decide to run, ang basa nila dito, well, the blame game and attacks will also spread accordingly. Wait lang, I'm trying to put this one. Narinig nyo ba ako? Clear ba ako? Kasi, okay, maybe I don't need to put these things. Ito na naman tayo, mga do-it-yourself style. Okay, one second, let me put this one. Ngayon, narinig nyo ako? Narinig nyo ako? Do you hear me? Yan, very clear daw. Salamat, Christian, for that update. Yeah, so my reading is that the Marcoses run for the presidency is a reflection of the weakness of the opposition na parang hindi sila nag-field ng united field, united tandem. At the same time, it's also, ayan na, medyo windang na. At the same time, ito rin, kasi ito promise, hanggang 4 a.m. yata, hanggang 4 a.m., ang pinag-usapan namin itong itong FB. Nag-shutdown kasi kagabi. So, nakakaawa naman yung mga trolls, di ba? Kasi, na-shutdown yung FB. So, hanggang 4 a.m., message ako ng message sa Twitter. Hey, Twitter, paki-update mo ako pag bumalik ng FB, ha? Hindi namin alam ano nangyari sa FB. Nag-martial law ba si Mark Zuckerberg? Nag-coup d'etat? Ay, baka ma-censor tayo ni Marky dyan, na ano ba ano ba nangyari dyan sa FB? Kasi meron silang di ba, may whistleblower the other day, biglang wow, down ang FB all around the world. So nakita ko yung mga friends ko sa Twitter. Yan, kaya maganda may Twitter ka rin hindi ko alam sa TikTok, pero maganda may Twitter ka rin. Nakita ko yung mga friends ko sa Australia, India, US, lahat nagrereklamo sa mukhang nag-down lahat, hindi lang sa Pilipinas. Pero kawawa naman yung mga trolls. Lalo yung mga nag-overtime. Diba? Ready, excited na sila na mag-raise ng excitement for today kasi may mga magpa-file. So, eto na yung mga troll farms and then boom, Facebook down. 5 hours down yata. So, hanggang 4 a.m. Yan, nagdadrama ako on Twitter. Saan na ang Facebook? Paki-update niyo ako sa Facebook. So, yung pala, yung palang purpose ng Twitter, to check kung andyan pa rin ang Facebook. So, yun ang nangyari kagabi. Kaya, hindi, mahina sila sa Twitter Kaya, pinost ko yung mga, may tawag dyan, GIF or GIF? Meron yung GIF ni Obama na nagsishade siya tapos mga deal with it. Ganun ang ko motto ko sa mga trolls kasi sa FB medyo may lakas kayo kasi no match kayo sa page ko kasi kung mag-troll kayo kawawa kayo sa mga natin dyan, mga friends. Yan. Kawawa kayo dyan, may troll army din ako. Ako rin troll ako minsan, aminin ko yan. Pag tinroll ako, ito-troll din kita, excuse me Kahit anong ek-ek ko and titles and all, I'm sorry, pag tinroll mo ako, ito-troll din kita. You know what I'm saying? Hindi kami mga snowflakes dito, okay? Palaban kami. Okay, anyways, so yun, hanggang 4 a.m., oh my goodness. Anong mangyari sa Facebook? Kung wala ng Facebook, anong mangyari sa elections? Kasi ang basa namin, baka pag mawala ang Facebook sa elections, baka mag-number 1 si Lenny. Alam niyo na ibig sabihin yan, Kasi, parang naalala ko noong 2010, wala pa akong Facebook noon, wala pa mga troll farms masyado sa Facebook. Alam mo na, di ba? Mahina yung isang side Ngayon, lumakas sila kasi, kaya tuloy, pag walang Facebook, kawawa talaga sila. Baka matalo-talo sila sa election na ito. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not blaming Facebook. No, I'm not. I'm half kidding. Okay. May factor talaga yung fake news or Facebook. Sa Twitter kasi wala silang laban Alam mo bakit? Sa Twitter, kailangan witty ka. And few words lang. Hindi pwedeng mga drama na CTTO, whatever yung mga ganyan. Hindi pwede ganun sa Twitter. Dapat, boom! Witty, straight to the point timing. Wala, mahina sila sa Twitter. No match sila doon, di ba? Kaya, kaya deal with it. Pero ngayon, bumalik na. Kaya paggising ko kanina, kamusta naman dyan? Buhay pa tayo dyan, Facebook. Yan, bumalik ang Facebook. Nako, happy na sila. Breakfast time, yung mga nag-OT, ayan na. Kape-kape, bawi-bawi, dun sa 5 hours na nawala. Kaya yon. Kaya sorry, medyo windang ako kasi grabe, nagpuyat ako dahil dito sa Facebook. Kasi sabi ko, alam mo, pag hindi bumalik tong Facebook, i-revise ko yung prediction ko sa election na ito kung sino mga mananalo. Okay? Pero ngayon na damit ng Ilocano, Jay? Uy, kapsat. Oh, Madam Dama, discuss tayo, Madam Duma. Okay, yun nga so, sabi ko, pag di bumalik ang Facebook, ang laki ng impact ito sa elections natin. Pero yan, bumalik ang Facebook, thankfully, so, or maybe thankfully for them. Kaya yan, nakapag-FB Alive tayo. Sabi ko, kung kailan tayo nag-FB Alive, doon pa na walang Facebook ng 5 hours. Nag-enjoy pa naman ako dito. I mean, aminin natin. Di ba, spontaneous, walang pretension, walang kodigo, walang, ano lang to? Natural freestyle to, no? Yeah, ganun. So going back, ang basa ko talaga dito is, marami akong basa. So I think the Marcos run was really a calculated move. So I don't think Marcos would have run for the presidency had they not perceive weakness both on the side of the opposition, ayan na English tayo, both on the side of the opposition, which has been quite disunited and split among different candidates, some true opposition, some not so true opposition, some suddenly opposition na dating alay ni President Duterte. But on the other hand, I think it's also a reflection of the fact that the Dutertes have really squandered their initial advantage. All this drama na, we will run, hindi ka ako tatakbo ako, hindi ako tatakbo, tatay, tatakbo ka ba, ako, sino ba, si Bongo, ganun. Like, all of that, I think, really undermined their momentum. So, I think this provided an opening for Marcos. Kasi kung maalala nyo, earlier this year, parang tahimik si Bongbong Marcos for a while, di ba? Like parang, ano bang plano niya? Tatakbo ba siya or hindi? Even Amy Marcos on multiple occasions said na, he wants to run for national office kaso sobrang crowded yung field. So, worry talaga mga Marcoses if there's really an opening for them because if the Dutertes were consolidated, strong, unified, tama yung messaging, disiplinado, and all of that, then medyo mahirapan talaga si Marcos to run kasi may overlap yung kanilang base. But now, the Marcoses sense na, eto na, statistically tied na si Marcos with Sara for the presidency. Some surveys suggest that Marcos is even surging further ahead. Kaya sinasabi ko for past few weeks at least, no, if not for past few months, that Marcoses are really the team to beat, no. Actually, kinot yata ako ng mga some pro Marcos mga outlets dyan. That was not an endorsement, let me be very clear, but that was a recognition of the fact that the Marcoses are formidable because they bring many elements together. On one hand, they have very strong grassroots support. So ayan, mga kapsat, mga Northern Philippines, solid North. But actually, not only that, pag titignan yung Pulse Asia survey, ang lakas ni Bongbong Marcos sa NCR. So, ang Baguio at Ilocos, ura nga dito yung Manila, grabe, napiksa, ti momentum ni Marcoses. Ang lakas talaga ng mga Marcoses Malakas, no? Piksa, no? Ang momentum nila. May mga Marcoses din sa Mindanao. So, let's see if Sara doesn't run, no? So, first of all, may grassroots support. At tapos ang strong ni Bongbong Marcos sa ABC, sa middle class. Ang lakas niya. So NCR, ABC, solid North, ang lakas ng Marcoses, no? They're coming in. And remember, when I say malakas, it doesn't mean he has 60-70%, no? What I'm saying is that in a crowded field, all you need to do is to get plurality of the votes. The largest plurality, no? So, 1992, nung sobrang crowded ng field, not even 24%, barely ang kinuha ni Ramos na he became the president. So, kung ikaw ang Marcos, you feel confident to get 25-30% under emerging circumstances, especially if Poe and Sara drop out, no? So I think the Marcoses have that. The second thing is they have machinery. Let's just be very honest about that. Since their return 3 decades ago, the Marcoses have been steadily building up their machinery, their networks around the country. They have some overlapping networks with the Dutertes and other camps. Some of those people are coming to Marcos' side based on the reports we have been hearing over the past few weeks. So there's this national network, not to mention yung messaging machine ng mga Marcoses. Grabe, no? Yung revisionism, yung alternative history, whatever you want to call it, they're strong. Grabe sa YouTube, tignan mo yung mga pro-Marcos, yung mga pro-Marcos vloggers. Grabe, lakas sila doon, di ba? Even, of course, dito sa FB. Not so much on Twitter, but FB, tapos may TikTok pa. Hindi ko pa yung TikTok ko Sige, please follow me on TikTok. Kasi hindi ko pa... Wala pa akong pinupost yun. Hindi ko alam na gagawin ko sa TikTok. Parang pa-cute lang. Yung tipong naka-filtered lahat ang itsura mo. Mukha ka ng BTS ba yan? BTS Korean. Parang ganun ang dating. Lalo pag shave ako. Tapos naka Japorms na parang BTS ang dating pag TikTok. Anyways, going back. Ang pinag-usapan natin dito is, the Marcoses. So, they bring the element of grassroots support. They're very strong dito sa NCR, solid North. So, probably Romualdez side can help the Bongbong Marcos dun sa Visayas. If Sara doesn't run, then in Mindanao, they can make some headways there. Although Bongbong Marcos' performance in 2016 elections in Mindanao was not so good. Although alam ko, sinasabi nyo may nangyaring ganun. Wala, talo talaga yung kaso sa Supreme Court ilang beses. But anyways, let's not go there. Mag-aaway pa tayo. And then, of course, there's a element of the communications machine, the behemoth, no? Grabe, napaka-disiplinado. At tignan mo sila Bongbong. Hindi sila napipikon, kung inatake mo sila, hindi sila sabog magsalita, hindi sila kalat. I mean, you know what I'm saying here, right? Napaka-disiplinado, no? Ganyan talaga mga hindi Novoricia. Ito yung mga established dynasties and families talaga. Nakita mo yung mga Marcos, very disciplined sila. Sa messaging nila, hindi sila napipikon. Even, pansin ko, marami akong mga, BTS. Pansin ko may mga BBM followers din ako, mga BBM solid. In fairness sa kanila, they're not that katulad ng mga iba na insultuin ka, mumurahin kang ganun. Even yung mga followers and all, or even some would say, potentially some of them are trolls, probably not real people. They're actually not very aggressive, no? Katulad nung iba na kilala natin, no? Yung mga ibang kaibigan natin dyan, nakawawa sila kagabi kasi shutdown yung FB, di ba? Anyways, So I think the Marcoses bring all of those elements together. They have the machinery, they have the message, they have the grassroots support. So these three elements are coming together. The opposition, if Lenny runs, which is increasingly likely, mahirap yan. Kasi Isko is also positioning himself to get some votes from the opposition and from the very center. Then Pacquiao is in a crusade mode, trying to position himself from the opposition. So medyo mahirap yan. Let's see if Sara will run for the presidency at all. I think there's a push for Sara to join one of the national parties and potentially can become a replacement candidate for the presidency in November. But let's see. So pwede natin i-track yan, no? Kung anong mga parties na i-join ni Sara. Lakas could be one. We're looking at that. We'll track that. But, it's very possible by come November, may momentum na on the side of Marcos and Isko and other candidates by that time. So, the Dutertes may not be able to pull off yung ginawa nila back in 2015, 2016, yung tatakbo ako, hindi ako tatakbo, all of that, no? So, yan, woof. There's much more to say, no? Pagdating dito sa Pilipinas at ang politika natin. But this is gonna be really a historic elections. Grabe yung mangyari sa mga presidential debates. Lalo kung may Marcos ka dyan, tapos may Duterte ka pa dyan potentially. Grabe yung maging debate dyan. So, I really look forward to the discussions. I really look forward to your question and answers. Sige, medyo mag Q&A tayo before I go kasi I have to write an article and all. And tumatawag ng mga media and all, nagtatanong dito kay Bongbong Marcos. So we can discuss more of this. Lalo siguro by tomorrow or later, who knows? Maybe Lenny will also file. So we can also have a FB Alive on that. Sige, may tanong ba kayo dyan? Who do you think will be his VP? Oo nga, no. Thank you for reminding me about it. May nakita akong mga memes or I don't know, I'm sure, Mark Villar. May nakita akong Mark Villar. There were also discussion na potentially pwede si Bongo ang VP niya if Sara doesn't run as president. So there are a number of top-level officials who could potentially become his fellow candidate, no? I'm sorry, katandem, no? Vice presidential tandem. So yun ang mga names na naririnig natin. Ano pa, may tanong pa kayo dyan? Before tayo mag-close ng itong mini FB Alive, sorry, medyo windang ako itong FB kasi na-shutdown kagabi kaya kung ano-anong inisip niyan. Ayan, mga DDS kasi, grabe, wag tayo. Let's be nice. Be nice. Potential predictions of alliances. Well, I mean, the big issue here is that is there a kind of a secret alliance between Duterte and Marcos for these elections? I mean, obviously they have been allies for the past 5 years or so. But if Sara doesn't run, for instance, for the presidency, does that mean may deal na between the Marcoses and Dutertes? I mean, Dutertes had their back, no? Over the past 5-6 years. Remember yung conviction kay Imelda. Remember yung burial ni Ferdinand Marcos in the Cemetery of National Heroes, nilibigan ng mga bayani. So Duterte had the back of the Marcoses. So siguro, who knows? I mean, the speculation will be maybe they cut a deal. If Bongbong becomes the next president and the Dutertes will kind of support them in these elections in one way or another, then siguro they expect some, some protection and some favorable terms of engagement should Marcos win. So that's the rumor, that's the discussion. Kung may deal. So that's the big alliance talaga potentially, the Marcos Duterte alliance, but the Marcos is now running for the presidency. Ito na yan. Ito, by the way, hindi ko na-mention yan. There's also an element of time and urgency here, no? I'll try to, because this is quite a serious note. Well, Bongbong Marcos, medyo 60s na siya, di ba? So he's approaching, I think, his mid-60s, if I'm not mistaken. So if he waits another cycle, medyo malapit na siya mag-70. I don't think he wants to run for the president or become the president at that level. He wants to be a president much younger. Kasi yung tatay niya nga, naging president na, I think, much younger, no? Among the youngest presidents we have had, if I'm not mistaken, with Ferdinand Marcos. And then, there's also Imelda Marcos aspect. 92 ba? Si Ma'am Imelda. So, I think they want vindication. They want historical vindication. Siguro gustong bumalik si Imelda doon sa balcony sa Malacanang, when they made their last hurray, bago sila yung swan song nila, bago sila umalis sa Hawaii, in 1986. So, maybe, they want to go back there and say, hey, andito na kami. We're back. So, siguro yun ang gustong historical vindication ni Imelda Marcos. Kaya napaka-high stakes ito, lalo dun sa mga critics ng Marcoses, critics of historical revisionism, people who want accountability and justice and all. But at the same time, this also tells a lot about how the Marcoses patiently built their way back into the center of power. And now they're a top contender for the presidency next year. I've been saying this for weeks now. And now this is it. The numbers are backing it up. And Marcos is now officially a candidate for the president of the Philippines. Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Well, that says a lot about our country. Right? Whichever way you want to interpret it. Very interesting too. But this is going to be very competitive race. One more question siguro before we leave. If Lenny will be a substitute now, I don't think Lenny people are gonna pull off those kinds of tricks. Pero yung style nila na she'll run for governor or ganun-ganun, yung mga pamix signaling na ganun, hindi bagay sa kanila, sorry. Ayan, Bisaya ako, Isko Moreno ang gusto. Yeah, actually, Isko's numbers are very weak kasi sa Mindanao eh. So, yun ang maging issue ni Isko eh. NCR, sila ni Marcos sa malakas. Pero sa Mindanao, ang hina ni Isko. So, if Marcos has cut a deal with the Dutertes as kind of a de facto alliance in these elections, a lot of Mindanao vote could go to Bongbong. So, mahirapan si Isko dyan. Kaya nga sabi ko nun sana si Pacquiao ang kinuha niyang VP. But anyways, Pacquiao is also in this race. So, siguro ang calculation niya, let Pacquiao split the vote in Mindanao para even if Isko doesn't win that much there, bawi na lang siya sa Visayas and mag-consolidate na lang siya dito sa Balance Luzon. So, yun. Last, any questions? Ay, may mga pinupost. Anong link yan? Baka spam yan, ha? Baka pag-click naman yung link na yan, mamaya wala ni FB namin. I'm still underage to run for the Senate. Okay. Be nice. Bakit di pa rin naka-file si Lenny? Ay, hinintay si Lenny. Kagabi sa Twitter, nung happy times yung mga kabila, kasi wala yung FB yung kabila, sabi nila si Lenny mag-file daw today. So, pero mukhang may postponement na naman yung plan. But now that Marcos has filed, let's see. Baka mamaya, baka tomorrow, no? So, we'll get to know it very soon, no? Yeah, let's see. Oh, actually, ito hindi ako nagpipretend na this discussion is exhaustive. There's so many more angles we can discuss. Kaya nga, I'm trying to have this everyday FB Alive discussion. Para hopefully, we can go more into the depth, we can have a more in-depth analysis, no? Nag-post na rin kami dun sa Project Pilipinas, by the way, sa YouTube, sa Spotify and all, yung latest analysis namin ng mga emerging lineup. So, mga 2 hours discussion yan, episode 11 and 12, andyan na. Please check them out. So, for further analysis and details, no? Yes, marami mga... Lenny momentum. Well, I think if Poe doesn't run, which is almost certain, Lenny can enter this race with around 10% of the votes at least. So, it's not gonna look too bad for her. So, I'm not sure about the momentum, but she's gonna enter in not so, hindi naman hopeless yung case. I think she still has some room for maneuver. But that means that Lenny has to eat into votes of Isko and Pacquiao. So, let's see about that. If she wants to be really competitive in this race and positioning herself as the alternative to a potential Marcos presidency, right? And then let's see also what Sarah will do. Ping. My discussion between Ping and Lenny pa rin? I don't know. I think there's a discussion, maybe one of them should withdraw or something, but let's see. But is Ping Lacson really opposition? Di ba siya yung kamay na bakal back in the day? So, let's be very clear. When we say opposition, we're talking about liberal democratic opposition. Hindi yung basta hindi Duterte camp or Marcos camp. Let's be very clear also about the definitions of that. No? Yes, actually, Lenny malakas siya sa Visayas and obviously Bicol. Mahina siya sa ABC. Medyo mahina din siya sa NCR. And Mindanao, she's not too bad. So let's see with Lenny what she's gonna do. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it there because I have to write ng articles and all, and media interviews are coming in also in this Marcos issue. So maraming salamat, folks. Thank you very much. Continue please to support us. Sana magagawa natin yan consistently, lalo with this breaking news and all of that. So mahaba-habang usapan yan. So God willing, we'll have a better leadership every cycle para umangat naman yung bansa natin. As I always say, we may not get a Tesla next year, but if we can get at least a Prius, I'm happy with that. And then hopefully we can get a Tesla in the next electoral cycle, no? Basta we move in the right direction. Yun lang mahalaga sa akin. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not gonna romanticize our politics and all. Realistic ako, but at the same time, I'm not lowering my standards, no? There are certain people na are beyond the pale, no? Hindi ako boboto for certain types of people. Basta, mamamatay tao, mananakaw, I'm not gonna vote for those kinds of people, no? But, kahit Prius ka, I'm willing to go with you if that's the best we got in the field so far, right? So please go out, register, and vote, and be involved. Be involved. Ito yung, future ng bansa niyan, future ng bansa natin yan. Oh, we love the Philippines, all right? Let's make this work. Whether you're pro this side or that side, we want an exciting and engaging election. So yun sanang makikita natin yan. Okay, maraming salamat, folks. I keep on saying goodbye. Parang nakaka-curious yung mga questions. Baka may dyan. Malakas siya sa Mindanao, lalo na sa Mara. Okay, yeah. Alright, sige po. God bless. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon again, no? God bless. Ingat kayo. Sana yung FB hindi na naman mawawala. At Mark Zuckerberg, wag kang magalit dun sa mga sinabi ko. Baka, alam mo na. Sige. Bye-bye. Doon na ako sa Twitter mamaya ulit. Bye-bye.